Hey everybody, Charles for HumbleMechanic.com, back today to talk about the state of the shop. This is episode 82 of the Humble Mechanic Podcast. So the State of the Shop show is like the monthly update of some of the things that are going on in the Volkswagen dealership world. Some of the things that not only I'm seeing in the dealership, but some things that I hear about going on across the country. But before we get into the show, it's time to talk about the sponsor of the day, which is Rain Eater wiper blades. Hey, wiper blades are often overlooked as a really important safety feature of your car. Also one of the easiest DIY things for anybody to do on their own car. So if you want a great set of wiper blades at an awesome price, check out Rain Eater wiper blades at raineater.com. So first up in the Volkswagen world, we have been slammed with a ton of Volkswagen Routans. Volkswagen and Chrysler finally have all of the parts to start replacing the wind module, which is basically the ignition switch. They had issues with them either cutting off or stalling, so what we do is we take the old ignition module out, we put it in, we replace all the keys, we program the module, and send the customer on down the road. So we've had a really abnormal amount of Routans rolling through the shop lately. It's actually a pretty good job for us to do. We can do them fairly quick, and from a customer standpoint, you get a whole new set of keys. I know a lot of people really don't like doing recalls. I think it's a good thing. It brings a lot of cars into the dealership, so as a dealer tech, that's what I want. I want more cars in the shop. I know from a customer standpoint, it's kind of inconvenient, but this is an issue that you definitely want to get taken care of. On the recall front, I had mentioned a while back that they were issuing a recall on the 2011 to 2014 GTIs to replace the water pump. That was the 19K5 recall. That recall's actually been suspended. Now, I don't really know why. A lot of times when communications come down, we don't get all the information. We get just here's what's happening, pass it along to your customers, and we'll let you know when something changes. I imagine at some point we'll know all the information about this recall, and as soon as I know, I'll make sure I let you guys know exactly what's going on, what cars qualify, and what we're doing as far as repairs. Being that it's the middle of summer, we've also had a ton of AC repairs, anything from low freon to compressor failures. I actually did a video yesterday on how a lot of these compressors are failing. I'll make sure I put a link in the show notes for you guys to check it out, or a link right up here if I nailed that right. You can check out exactly what it looks like and how they fail. The most common ones really seem to be the TDIs, the CJAA engine code, as well as the 2.5 liter engines. Nothing like the numbers that we were seeing years and years ago when the BPY compressors were failing and we were having to replace the entire AC system. This is basically just either the valve inside is failing or the compressor is failing and we are having to do some flushing. Again, check out the video if you want to know specifically how these compressors are failing. We've also been super busy at the shop, like crazy busy. I think I mentioned it in the last State of the Shop video that I don't remember ever being this busy in the dealership. As hectic, as frantic, as many cars coming in and out in the 11 and a half, whatever years that I've worked there. Part of the problem with being that busy is that's when mistakes happen. We've actually had 2 cars that needed turbochargers replaced on it due to improper torque on the drain plug. Both the drain plugs came out, and we had to pay for new turbochargers for these cars. And it stinks because it costs the dealership a bunch of money, as well as a huge inconvenience for the customer. Good thing is, I work at a great dealership. We're upfront about it. We admit our mistakes. We make it right. We do what we got to do to make sure that the customer's car's fixed properly and that they're as happy as they can be, minus having to come back to the dealership for a repair. In addition to those 2 failures, we've actually had a couple of cars damaged. One of them, the guy backed into the pole in the breezeway and damaged the side of, oddly enough, a Routan. The other one was the parts truck got backed into a customer car and creased the back bumper a little bit. Just like with the turbochargers, we're very upfront, we're very honest, we admit our mistakes instantly, and we do what we got to do to make it right. There's no cover up, there's no hiding it, there's no hoping the customer doesn't notice. We admit our mistakes and we make it right. And that's really one of the things that'll set apart, a bad dealership or a bad service department from one that's good. Even though we make mistakes, we do what we got to do to make it right. For 2016, Volkswagen has changed some of the maintenance scheduling on their cars. So if you're going to be buying a 2016, which I don't think we've seen any at my dealership yet, but I know there's a few floating around there, you want to pay close attention to what the maintenance schedule is. Personally, I hate when they change the maintenance schedule. It's so hard to remember. We have so many different engine combinations and transmission combinations. It's a lot of times it's hard to remember what engine gets spark plugs at what mileage, what transmission gets a service at this mileage. And now we're changing it again. So we as dealership employees have to make sure we're up to speed on what some of these changes are. And if you're a customer, you want to make sure that you're following the manual as well. open it up, read through the maintenance schedule, and make sure that you're doing things by the book to avoid a couple of things. One, avoid doing things too often. You don't need to change the oil every 3,000 miles. We're still at 10,000 mile interval services for oil change. You want to make sure you're not doing something too often. You also want to make sure you're not going to miss something. Let's say the transmission service on the DSGs, for example, is due at 40K. You want to make sure that at 40K you're ready for that and it doesn't kind of come out of nowhere and slap you in the face. Following the maintenance schedule and knowing the maintenance schedule is a very important part of responsible vehicle ownership. I also got 3 brand new guys since the last time I did a State of the Shop video. All 3 of them have started off in Service Express. One guy who's worked 3, 4, 5 weeks, he's worked his butt off. I think I mentioned it in the video that I was very interested to see where this guy wound up. We're already ready to take him out of Service Express, put him on the line as a regular line tech. He still has a lot of training to do, a lot of understanding on how the dealership process works and how repairing cars works versus just maintaining. But this guy's razor sharp. I'm really proud of how hard this guy worked and what he's put in to get from where he started, and he knew he was just starting there, to where he wanted to be. So props to him. It goes to show you, if you work really hard, do the things that you're asked, learn the car line, learn what you're supposed to learn, help out where you can, and do extra when no one asks you to do, you'll be able to get where you want to go. So props to him for working hard, and I hope that that's an example for the other 2 guys we got in Service Express, which I think they're going to be able to do just about the same thing and follow right along behind him. The other thing from my standpoint of having a few trainees is that really does keep me busy the entire day, between helping them out and teaching them what they need to know, as well as still helping everyone else in the shop. That's what I'm good at. That's what I like to do. It's one of my favorite parts of the job, and I'm excited to have 3 guys. It's been a while since I've had that many new people in the shop. Overall, we've got almost, I think, 6 new technicians within the last year or so in the shop. So it'll be interesting to see that 180 change from where we were when we hired this big batch of new guys to where we are today, and then where we are 6 months to a year from now. I think we'll be an even better dealership than we are today. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up there. If you have any questions or comments, post it in the comments section below. Hey, if you like the video, throw it a thumbs up on YouTube. I always appreciate that. You can also subscribe on YouTube or on the blog at humblemechanic.com. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, the blog, and obviously here on YouTube. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.